Sunday night, the road to WrestleMania officially begins with the first major event of 2018. For the first time ever, not one, but two Royal Rumble matches will take place. One for the men, as always, for the first time ever, a women's Royal Rumble match. Same rules apply. Two winners, two championship opportunities at WrestleMania. Lives will be changed, heroes will be made, and the road to WrestleMania officially begins. But before that, the men and women of NXT will have something to prove as well. The first major professional wrestling weekend of the year, we've got you covered right here and right now. Hello, friends, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio here. Boy, oh boy, do we have a big show for you tonight. Normally, if it's Friday night, it's strictly sports, but not for this week, because we're talking NXT Takeover Philadelphia and the 31st annual Royal Rumble events. A show so special that we have a very special guest joining us. Our Imperial Grand Poobah, if you will, the one and only Bullet Club Soldier 445, Derek Ferreira. You know, if he's on, you know it's a big deal. So, man alive, I cannot wait. This is going to be a great night. The band back together for the first time in a long time. So, fellas, you know what to do. Let's have some fun tonight, like we've never had fun before. So with that being said, here we go. Let's dive right on in. NXT Takeover Philadelphia coming up tomorrow night. The first of 4 nights at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. NXT Takeover Philadelphia tomorrow. Royal Rumble on Sunday. Monday Night Raw on Monday. And it wraps up Tuesday night with SmackDown Live. So, nothing more to say. Let's get right on into it. NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. 5 matches on the card. And we're going to kick it off with a match that was added just the other day, just this past Wednesday. Cassius Ohno squaring off against the Velveteen Dream. This was added Wednesday during Triple H's conference call. This match, likely the opener of TakeOver Philadelphia, will resemble Ohno's match with Lars Sullivan at TakeOver War Games in November. Ohno will get some hope offense, have the crowd rallying behind him, but ultimately, I think he takes the loss here. I'm not here to argue what NXT should be doing with Ohno or whether or not they're wasting one of the premier talents in wrestling today. They've decided on a role for him. Veteran gatekeeper. Ohno is so good that he'll make any role work, and this one has fit him well so far. Ohno will undoubtedly make Velveteen Dream look like $1 million, and I think this should be a fun opener. Dream had a legit match of the year contender at the last TakeOver against Aleister Black in an amazing TV match with Johnny Gargano this week. He can go. Ohno can go. This should be an awesome opener, provided it gets the time it needs. After his show-stealing match with Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream disappeared for about 6 weeks. After returning and losing a number 1 contenders match to Johnny Gargano, his match for TakeOver was announced on a conference call. Cassius Ohno is in a solid spot on the NXT roster, getting some fun TV matches and putting guys over. That is more likely what he's going to do here, as I got Velveteen Dream going back to his winning ways. So give me Velveteen Dream to win this matchup. So nothing more to say. Good LMF, Michael Fletcher, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this first matchup of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Cassius Ohno, Velveteen Dream. Who you got?
I agree with you, Anthony. I'm actually going to go with the Velveteen Dream as well. I mean, he's been unbelievable lately in the last few months. I mean, he has become one of the rising stars of NXT, and without a doubt, I mean, his fight with Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, man, people are talking about that. I actually got to see it not too long ago, and wow, that's all I can say about it. Very good performance, unbelievable, to say the very least. And for Cassius Ohno, yeah, Ohno has been all right, I guess. He hasn't really been pushed to the rock. He hasn't been really pushed at all lately. But, like you said, veteran gatekeeper, if you definitely want to, he's definitely proven to be a really good big name star. So, yeah, I think the Velveteen Dream should win this match and to propel him into bigger and better things, especially moving onward. We'll wait and see what happens. But nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Velveteen Dream as well. He continues to really impress me over there in NXT. Going back to his unbelievable match he had at the last Takeover, like you said, against Aleister Black. Even though the Dream came up on the short end, and then like you said was gone for 6 weeks, and then he came back, and then of course this past week had, like you said, a really good matchup against Johnny Gargano with Gargano's NXT title opportunity on the line here. So I think the Velveteen Dream gets the win. I think bigger and better things are coming for this guy, and who knows? Maybe sometime this year he'll be on the main roster. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But either way, I got the Velveteen Dream winning this one. So our Grand Poobah, Derek Ferreira, come on in, man. Long time no talk, man. So give us your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it like this right here. I mean, Velveteen Dream, I've been so impressed with this guy. I mean, the guy. Let me just when I did my video on Sports Addicts about the last NXT, I had talked about that as my fight of the night. I could honestly put that as my fight of the year because that was a damn near 5-star classic. I mean, it was that match Wednesday night that really was just like, you know what? They're going to put this guy on the main roster. I didn't get a chance to hear the Triple H conference call. I don't know if the Wrestling Observer actually put that on. I have to check in just a bit. But, I mean, they did the last time for the Survivor Series, Triple H. Cassius Ohno, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this was a guy that I thought he had a lot of potential in NXT. He went up against Lars Sullivan. That was the last match that he had. So I see this guy as a jobber. I mean, he's really an NXT jobber right there. But this is going to get good 10 minutes. So I'm going to go with the Velveteen Dream, and let's get to the next match.
And that will be for the NXT Tag Team Championship. The champions, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, representing the Undisputed Era, defending the titles against the challengers and former champions, Akam and Rezar, the Authors of Pain. Of course, they'll be flanked by their legendary Hall of Fame manager, Paul Ellering. MF, it's only fitting we start this off with you because this tag team title match, it's really four simple words. It's really four simple words that what this fight's going to be a man fight.
Absolutely. Title on the line. Don't get no bigger than this. Honor, prestige, and I think we might get a call up. I'm going to say right now, I do think that the Undisputed Era is going to finish the job. They're going to successfully defend the titles because I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think Akar and Rezar, I think the Authors of Pain might be on their way to WWE. I think they're definitely going to be in the WWE picture, and I think they're going to be in that SmackDown picture. They need tag teams desperately because the thing is, they're going to send the Authors of Pain up because there's a new team coming in to NXT who's just as powerful and just as dominating as the Authors of Pain. Derek Ferreira, you know who I'm going about. We're talking about War Machine, Rowan Hansen. They're coming up from New Japan Pro Wrestling or from Ring of Honor, wherever you've been following them. And they are former tag champions over there. So they're coming into the big boys of WWE or in the NXT realm, and they're gonna be down there for a little bit before they get the call up to the main roster. So you got one monster team going out, one monster team coming in. So don't worry. The monster team of NXT is going from the Authors of Pain, the War Machine, or whatever their name is going to be called in NXT. Don't know yet. But I think the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon, I think they're gonna find a way to successfully defend the NXT Tag Team Championship. I got the Undisputed Era winning that fight. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yes, I got the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish winning this match and retaining the NXT Tag Team titles because, I mean, these guys are definitely going to get a big time push in NXT, and I'll tell you this right now, somewhere down the line, the Undisputed Era is going to be on the main roster, and like you said, I think the Authors of Pain, they're on their way to the main roster. I mean, they've proven so much over there in NXT. I think this is the time you want to bring them up, and I agree. I think SmackDown Live would fit them really well because they really need some tag teams to basically on that show. I mean, yes, you got the Usos. Yes, you got Benjamin and Gable, but you really need some more tag teams, and I think the Authors of Pain, I think, are just the right fit for them. So, give me the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish to retain the NXT Tag Team title. So, Derek Ferreira, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree with you on the most part. Authors of Pain, you guys just stole my thunder right there. I do see them going to SmackDown Live. I'll talk about, how this is going to affect the outcome of the Usos versus Gable and Benjamin fight coming up in just a bit. But yeah, Undisputed Era is going to continue their reign. And there's a lot of there's another tag team out there that is going to get into the mix. TM61 is going to make supposedly their reboot next week on NXT. I mean, they've been in, NXT before. They disappeared off the face of the earth, and then they came back. But yes, War Machine, Rowan Hansen. They were a couple weeks ago. They were in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They were part of that never openweight 6-man tag team match. Well, that gauntlet match with, Suzuki-gun, the Bullet Club. Who was it as well? I think it was Team Taguchi, and that was the match where Taguchi's team won. And then the next night, they lose the tag team titles to the Bullet Club at Mia's Dash. So, Rowan Hansen, the new big guys, the badass team. In New Japan, they held the IWGP tag team titles. Ring of Honor, they held the tag team titles. So, you got some two big dudes, two big hosses, as I like to call them. Oh, yeah, and you also got Heavy Machinery. Whatever happened to that team? So, Undisputed Era wins. Florio, it's yours.
Make it unanimous, gentlemen. I too have the Undisputed Era winning. I mean, I'm still having a little trouble getting into the entire Undisputed Era thing. I mean, Adam Cole is a guy I've never quite developed an attachment to, whereas Fish and O'Reilly are one of my favorite tag teams of the last decade. And as a unit, it hasn't quite worked, and it doesn't feel right, and they don't seem to serve any real purpose in the company yet. But I'll give some credit to Fish and O'Reilly, who have improved their personas in the build to take over Philadelphia. But something still feels lacking, and lacking is the operative word here, as the build to this tag title match seems very thrown together and very last minute. Not what we're used to with takeovers. Narrative-driven, everything is coming to a head. Takeover matches, this is not. Undisputed Era are definitely moving on here, which brings into question the future of AOP on NXT. I mean, they probably outlived their usefulness, and now it's time to join up on the main roster, like these guys have said. And I mean, Fish and O'Reilly, along with Adam Cole, just feel a little superfluous in NXT. It's odd they have been presented as an important act in NXT. However, it feels like everything they do is background noise while the stuff of importance happens elsewhere. And that continues this month as they take on a team with nothing left to do in NXT, the Authors of Pain. And Akam and Rezar are good at being monsters. and I'm sure Red Dragon can find ways to make this matchup interesting. My money is on the Undisputed Era to keep the titles until the next top babyface tag team is ready, whether they be TM61 or the Street Profits. So, Undisputed Era, they go over. They will still be your NXT tag team champions. So, with that being said, let's move on now. How about this one? For the NXT Women's Championship, the champion Ember Moon defending the title against the Queen of Spades herself and member of MMA's Four Horsewomen, Shayna Baszler, the runner-up of the Mae Young Classic. Michael Bullock, we started with you. Ember Moon finally got her moment at TakeOver War Games, finally winning the NXT Women's title. But oh boy, does she have a major threat in Shayna Baszler. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was happy when Ember Moon finally won the NXT Women's title. I mean, she definitely deserved it. I mean, especially after some of her matches that she had, of course, against the former NXT Women's Champion Asuka. But she's got her moment. But boy, this title defense she's got coming up, not going to be easy against the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, and boy howdy, she is one badass woman and one you certainly do not want to screw around with. I mean, just ask some of the women that she's attacked and injured, and they'll tell you how tough she is, and she's even bullied her way throughout the performance center. So she's basically like, you know what? You think you're tougher than me? Well, just watch what I'm made of. So you know what? I know this is going to probably come as a surprise to some people, but I'm calling it. Winner and new NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. That's who I'm going with here. I mean, as much as I want to see Ember Moon continue her run as NXT champion, after what I've seen from Baszler, I just think this is going to be too tough of a task for Ember Moon. So Shayna Baszler will be your new NXT Women's Champion. Derek Ferrera, I give it to you.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. I'm getting my notes over here for this. Now, does this match actually scream like the match of the night here? No. But I will say it like this. Shayna Baszler, I mean, they have nailed her so well in NXT. And if you saw that sit-down interview this past week, that was perfect right there. And what they did over here was that they showed that Ember Moon was scared. And Baszler is, like, confident. Earlier tonight, before we were on the air, I saw, like, the video from the NXT on their Facebook page. And Shayna Baszler, was training for this fight. And she came out and said, you know what? All these women, they're not training. I'm the only one that's training. That just tells you how confident Shayna Baszler is. And they've built up Ember Moon up to that point where you can't just squash her in a minute, but the build with Shayna Baszler is begging for it. And this fight, this is going to be a real test because, and I kind of say that too in a way with Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, yes, she does have the MMA background, but honestly, she's a little bit green and she's really in that learning stage of her professional wrestling career. Now, this is going to be her biggest moment and she's going to have to arise to that occasion. I mean, it's very hard to believe that Baszler comes in and wins the title right away, but I just don't see any other scenario. Baszler wins. I think this is going to be a quick match. Eventually, this is going to lead up. Now, people talk about how about Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae. I don't think they're going to put Candice LeRae in there yet with her. You got to put it in there with Kairi Sane, and you got to build that as the rematch from the Mae Young Classic, the finals. So, I see Baszler winning this fight, and let's move on to Florio.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Shayna Baszler myself. I mean, You know, she had that dominant run in the Mae Young Classic. You know, I mean, it was just amazing. And, you know, she easily could have won that. Easily. But, you know, she lost to Kairi Sane. But, boy, howdy. I mean, Ember Moon faces her toughest test since Asuka. One she did not overcome, as she faces former UFC fighter and Mae Young Classic runner-up Shayna Baszler at Takeover. Baszler has been on a roll since her NXT debut, almost breaking Dakota Kai's arm and attacking Aaliyah. Baszler has established herself as the bully of the NXT women's division, and as she stated on her face-off with Ember Moon, the NXT universe will know who she is. Ember won the championship finally at NXT TakeOver War Games in November, and this will be her first proper title defense. Could we see Ember Moon dropping the title and then showing up during the Women's Royal Rumble match? Possible, but I don't know. Ember is a talented performer, but needs a little more time in development so that she can head to the main roster completely ready for the challenge ahead of her. As far as TakeOver is concerned, Bullock, Derek, I 100% agree with you guys. I see Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, walking out of Philadelphia, the new NXT Women's Champion. So give me Shayna Baszler as well. So MF, are we going to make it unanimous, or are you going to be the lone wolf on the Ember side?
Normally, I probably would definitely consider being the lone wolf here, but because of what Shayna Baszler has been and what she's brought to the table, especially at Jump Street, I mean, she's been unbelievable, guys. I mean, I don't think I've seen, other than Asuka, I have not seen anybody more dominating going into a championship fight that she is. And I would be stunned if Ember Moon walks out of this with the title. I just don't think so. Plus, there is a lot of rumors about Ember Moon possibly not only being a part of the main roster, but there's even talk about her possibly being one of the surprise entrants in the Women's Royal Rumble. So, if that's the case, the only way that can happen is if Ember loses the belt, which I think will happen. With you guys, it's a unanimous decision. Winner and the new NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Anthony, on to the next fight.
And this next fight will be contested under Extreme Rules. Adam Cole, baby, squaring off against Aleister Black. And Derek Pereira, it's only fitting we start this off with you. I mean, after all, you are the hardcore pipe bomb of the group, and this one's right up your alley.
Oh, yeah. It's Philadelphia, the city that created hardcore wrestling. That's right. ECW nostalgia right there. And you guys mentioned how the Undisputed Era, you know, they haven't quite worked, and it's because of Adam Cole. Now, don't get me wrong, Adam Cole's a really good wrestler. I mean, he was great in Ring of Honor and all of that, but, you know, his run in the WWE, and I'll be honest with you guys, has been a little bit mediocre. But with that said, I would say this fits his alley right here. And I'm going to tell you why. 2012. Hybrid rules match in Ring of Honor against Kyle O'Reilly, by the way. That was a sick match right there. I had it as a 4.5 star fight. I mean, I know it's been like 5 years. I have to check that fight out again. And this dude can brawl. He really can. And so I'm really excited to see what this type of match is going to be. And going up against one of the best talents in NXT and Aleister Black, I mean, this is going to be a fun match. This is going to be a match where I think this is going to be the fight of the night. You know, gimmick matches in wrestling these days don't really work out. I mean, yes, the War Games, don't get me wrong. War Games is pretty good. It was a 4-star fight. I mean, there were some people out there that said it was 5 stars. I don't know how Meltzer rated it when I checked it out on the Observer, but it was not the 5-star classic, but to me, it was more like a 4-star fight. So I think this would be right around 4.5. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be a 5-star classic. But Aleister Black, he's been undefeated in singles competition in NXT. His run ends right here, and he's still going to get a major push. I still think he's going to be a champion in NXT in the future. I just hope that they do it within the next year and a half, or somewhere within this time frame where he becomes a champion. So Adam Cole's going to win this fight. Florio, it's yours.
I agree. I got to go with Adam Cole as well. I mean, Derek made a lot of great points, but I'll try to add to it if I can. So let me see here. I know for some, there were some who were saying of all the matches, this was going to be the toughest to call, but not for me. I mean, yes, both men are undefeated in singles action going into this bout, and two of the biggest names on the NXT roster right now. Triple H made some interesting comments on a conference call last year, saying that he believed that Aleister Black would be a big player in the WWE in the future. With that being said, in case Black is set for a main roster call-up after the Rumble, even though I think it seems highly unlikely, I would have Adam Cole as the favorite to win on Saturday, or tomorrow rather, not a clean win though. And I also think that the winner of this match will most likely be the number one contender, but the next number one contender or challenger for the NXT Championship. So nothing more to say on this. Winner of this match, Adam Cole, baby. MF, how about it?
I think it's going to be a very good match. I think it's going to be a solid fight. The Extreme Rules element is going to make this more amazing than ever before because, you're going into an ECW hotbed when you're in Philadelphia, so you already know that the tempers are going to fly. The explosion's going to be very prevalent, monumental, whatever you want to say. And it is going to be a lot of fun, a great match. I got to disagree with you guys. I'm sorry. I got to say it's Aleister Black. Look, I think Black is a future NXT champion in the making. And the reason why I think this outcome's going to happen is because I believe he is the next in line for the NXT title because of my theory about later tonight. So I got nothing more to say. I disagree with Anthony and Derek. I got Aleister Black beating Adam Cole. And Mike Bullock, it is all yours.
Boy, this is tough. I mean, who do I go with? Do I go with Anthony Florio and Derek Ferreira and go with the Adam Cole, or do I go with MF and Aleister Black? This is tough, but I do think this is going to be a really good match. But in the end, I'm going to agree with Michael Fletcher on this one. I am going with Aleister Black to win this match. I mean, I have high regards for Aleister Black. I mean, this is a guy who's a future NXT champion down the line. I mean, I believe he's going to get his opportunity very soon. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adam Cole's. I like what I've seen from him, even though, like you said, he's been underrated so far during his run in NXT. But I think this is where he'll his downfall begins. So I gotta go with Aleister Black on this one. I know there's gonna be some people who are gonna disagree with me and Fletch. I mean, I know Anthony and Derek are probably like, you two are so wrong, but hey, I don't care. I got high regards for this guy, so there's really nothing more for me to say. I got Aleister Black winning this match. So, Florio, I think it's time we get to the main event.
Main event time, and oh boy, what a match this is going to be. for the NXT Championship, the champion, Andrade Cien Almas, with the beautiful Zelina Vega in his corner as always, defending the title against a very unlikely number one contender, Johnny Wrestling himself, Johnny Gargano. We go from a hardcore battle that will please Derek and MF to what I believe will be a technical showcase for myself and Michael Bullock, because you know of our love of technical wrestling. This ain't going to be no hardcore war, guys. I mean, this is going to be now. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a Flair Steamboat Classic, but for me, I strongly feel this is going to be the fight of the night. I don't know why, but I got this feeling this is going to be the fight of the night. Johnny Gargano is a brilliant wrestler. I mean, for nearly a decade now, the man has been one of, if not the best bell-to-bell storytellers in the game today. His match against Velveteen Dream Wednesday night on NXT, among one of the best NXT TV matches I've ever seen, and yet another notch on an all-time great resume that's only going to build over this decade. Gargano's journey to this match overshadows anything Almas has done in the build. Almas is a conduit to the Gargano redemption story, and this match is all about a guy trying to get back to the top of the mountain, trying to work through the disappointment and destruction he suffered at the hands of his former best friend in Tommaso Ciampa. The story of a man who took a losing streak and learned from it, built off of it, and finally, after years of struggle, reached the apex. It's so perfect. It's also right for his former best friend Ciampa to cut it off again. I have no idea what the status of Ciampa is, though reports have him returning in quote-unquote early 2018. How perfect would it be for Gargano to be on the verge of winning the title, the Wells Fargo Center going absolutely nuts for him? Of course, as we all know, it's an IWC hotbed. But the redemption story to finally reach its tearful conclusion, only for Ciampa to mess it all up and ruin everything. I have heard some argue that if and when Ciampa returns, he would want Gargano to be the champion, so that he eventually could win the title himself. But that's not Ciampa's motivation. Ciampa, the character, takes more pleasure in ruining Gargano's moment than he does having his own. And his motivation is disappointing Gargano far more than it is rewarding himself. Think about when Kevin Owens debuted and destroyed his friend Sami Zayn after his emotional title win. Owens was a prize fighter. He wanted and needed the title so he could put food on the table. That's not Ciampa. Ciampa is a man who lives to ruin Gargano, lives to disappoint and destroy. But that might be the only way this match can end, with Almas retaining, but the story is Ciampa returning and ruining Johnny Wrestling from having his moment in the sun. However, Michael Bullock and I, during one of I think it was a Raw, it was the Raw chat this week, because we didn't have a SmackDown chat. We had a Raw chat, of course. And we talked about this match for a moment, and we both had a gut feeling about this. I'm sure MF and Derek are going to disagree with us, but Johnny Gargano has grown into the biggest babyface star in NXT after an amazing 2017, and is somehow continuing to stoke the flame on his feud with the injured Ciampa while growing as a character as well. And it has also helped that he has continued to have stellar matches with the likes of Cassius Ohno. How about that UK title match with Pete Dunne? I mean, unbelievable match. And now the man, and of course, Velveteen Dream from this past week, and the man he's facing for the title, Andrade Cien Almas, with the excellent and beautiful Zelina Vega by his side. Almas has finally found his footing in NXT, and he has similarly been putting on awesome matches on the big stage. And I have little doubt that these two will put on anything less than a brilliant main event, which I think will steal the show, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. My gut is telling me to go with Almas, but this is one time I got to listen to my heart here. Michael Bullock and I, we talked about this, and we both agreed. I think this is where Johnny Gargano will get his moment in the sun with the title on this night. And how long that moment will last, though, is anyone's guess. So I'm going to take a big chance here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But you know me. I love underdog stories. Johnny Gargano is the epitome of the word underdog, a lot like Daniel Bryan was 4 years ago when he had that unexpected run to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship going into WrestleMania 30, a la the Miracle on Bourbon Street. The best ending, which I still consider the greatest ending to a WrestleMania ever, unless we see something different this year, but we'll find out soon enough. But winner and new NXT champion, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. MF, I know you and Derek are probably gonna disagree with me and Bullock on this, but nonetheless, this is gonna be one hell of a main event here. So give me Johnny Wrestling to win it. I got this feeling in my heart here. I'm going with my heart instead of my gut. So MF, do you agree or do you disagree? And do you think Andrade Cien Almas will successfully defend with that stunner by his side?
There's two factors to this. One, you just said it. You know she's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that Andre C. Almas successfully defends the title. But Anthony, you brought up the X factor. Tommaso Ciampa, the Sicilian psychopath. You brought up the X factor, and because of that, you made the argument for me for Andre C. Almas to successfully defend the title. Obviously, I'm going to disagree with you because you said the two X factors. Zelina Vega and Ciampa. If Ciampa's not there, maybe there's a chance we see a miracle, and yes, we could see a new champion. But I think Ciampa will be there. He's been gone long enough, and nobody's really heard from Ciampa in a while. And that's scary because normally when you don't hear anything about a wrestler, you wonder, when are they coming back? And we haven't heard anything about, we knew he was going to be gone for about a year. It's already been more than a year. When are we going to see him arrive? I think we're going to see it here. I'm going to call it here. No doubt about it in my mind. Winner and still NXT champion, Andres C. Almas. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
All right. I mean, I know, Florio, you and I talked about Johnny Gargano pulling off the upset, and you said it already. But after careful consideration, and you're right, Fletch. I mean, I was thinking the same thing earlier today. I mean, as we were getting close to this previewing Takeover and Royal Rumble. Because remember, we haven't seen Ciampa since he injured himself during that attack on his former best friend and partner, Johnny Gargano. I think tomorrow night's going to be the night where he finally makes his return and screws Johnny Gargano out of the NXT championship. I mean, Gargano's probably going to hit his finishing maneuver and looks like he's going to be on his way to victory, but Ciampa is going to screw him over, and Andre Cien Almas is going to retain the title. So I agree with Michael Fletch on this one. Winner and still NXT champion, Andre Cien Almas. Derek Ferrer, I give it to you.
I was also thinking about that fight too, because you look at Johnny Gargano. I want Johnny Gargano to win this fight because he started in Philadelphia. And when you look at that city as a whole, and trust me, I've had experience going down there watching indie wrestling shows, Ring of Honor in New Japan a couple of years ago. People talk about Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano was a legacy over there in Philly, and it'd be such a great ending. I mean, could they actually have that moment where he celebrates with his wife, Candice LeRae, who they just signed? Yes. I mean, that's very possible that could happen. But something tells me Tommaso Ciampa is going to come back. He's going to screw Gargano. You also got to consider that Drew Galloway, or McIntyre, whatever you like to call him, he wants his rematch clause. And he's going to come back from that torn bicep injury right around WrestleMania. So I can see them do the rematch in New Orleans. And then here's a little bit of a theory that I'm going to go with. Omos keeps the title, and then when they do the NXT, the Money in the Bank weekend in June, he loses the title to, okay, who did WWE just recently signed? This guy that was formerly known as Prince Pumba in Lucha Underground. This guy who is one of the hottest free agents in professional wrestling this year. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Ricochet. I can see Omos losing the title to Ricochet. And I know there's been a lot of crazy rumors this week about him going to 205 Live because of this whole situation that happened, which I'm not going to talk about because the facts hasn't really came out yet, but people saying, oh, he should be on 205 Live. No. Keep that dude in NXT. He'll be a really big star in NXT. So Andres Cien Omos is going to keep the title. I see him losing it in June to Ricochet. So now let's talk about the Royal Rumble.
The 31st annual WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view is upon us as the superstars of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live converge on the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia to begin the road to WrestleMania 34, and there's certainly plenty of action headed our way on Sunday night. We will not see either of the mid-card titles defended, but there are 4 championship matches and 2 title opportunities to be determined as for the first time in WWE history. Both the men and women will compete in Royal Rumble matches for a chance at a championship match in New Orleans at WrestleMania 34. Originally, the Cruiserweight Championship was set to be defended, but with the release of Enzo Amore, that match has been scrapped, and the fate of that title is up in the air right now. That will be until Tuesday night when new general manager of 205 Live will determine said title status. However, the show goes on, and there's plenty to get to, so let's get started with our first championship match, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Intercontinental Rules. I made sure I threw that in there for you, MF. 2 out of 3 falls. Champions, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending the titles against the number 1 contenders, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. And it's only fitting that we started off with the voice of SmackDown Live, the one and only good old MF Michael Fletcher. So, MF, 2 out of 3 falls, Intercontinental Rules, Usos, Benjamin and Gable. They've been having some great matches on TV. And I got a damn good feeling this one's going to be a potential show stealer.
It's not only going to be a potential show stealer, it's going to be an unbelievable matchup. No doubt about that in my mind as well. You basically, you brought it up the other day. You talked about that you got a feeling that we were going to have history being made or a crowning of a new champion on SmackDown Live, and I agree. I think it is going to happen. I think this will be the night, and I just feel like Benjamin and Chad Gable, they're ready. They're ready to take the next step. They're ready to make their names known. And yes, Anthony, I'm going to say it. I believe we will see history being made. So for me, there's really nothing more to say. The winners of the bout in the 3-fall limit and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, it's going to be Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. I think they are going to be walking away with the titles. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good SmackDown Live Tag Team title match. These two teams have had some really good matches, whether it's tag team or even in the singles matches. But now for it to culminate with a 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, Benjamin and Gable have been a really good cohesive unit since they've been put together, and they've come close before, but I agree. I think Sunday night is going to be the night where they finally cash in. So, winners of the bout, and new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Derek Ferrer, it's yours.
I agree. Not with the result, but I do agree on a couple of things over here. One, of course, is this is going to be my fight of the night right here. I mean, the Usos right now, they're burning that midnight oil right now. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, they're one of the most athletically talented wrestlers right now in the WWE, especially in that tag team division. And I don't really want to get into like wrestling politics or wrestling booking here, but I think this match to me, I think this is really going to be what happened recently with Jey Uso, because Jey Uso was arrested for DUI. And yeah, you talk about this individual, what he did this past week and how he got released from the WWE. And I'm just going to say it like this. You know, Bully Ray, he mentioned this on Busted Open the other day. And this was the Wednesday show, the day after all of this stuff happened with Enzo. I'll just mention the name for how. What Vince McMahon wants to do is Vince McMahon wants to clean up the wrestling industry. That's kind of like his final wish. And, you know, they have zero tolerance policies. I don't care if what you did was the situation where Enzo was bad. You know, this DUI arrest thing could be bad for the WWE. It could be bad for, you know, publicity. This whole thing, you know, too, with Roman Reigns. I know that's been the big talk. But it just seems to me WWE has done little about this Jey Uso situation. And, you know, kind of the reason you can make that argument of putting Gable and Benjamin as the tag team titles, or tag team champions, I should say, because of the result of Jey Uso's actions. I just don't see that happening. I mean, the Usos, they're excellent champions. They should carry that title into WrestleMania. This is where I put the Authors of Pain in here. I would see an Usos and Authors of Pain feud for WrestleMania. I mean, you can put the Bulgin brothers in there, but Authors of Pain, bring them up, have them squash Breezango, have them squash the Ascension, and then make their way up and go up against the Usos. And that's where I kind of see them beating the Usos at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with the Usos right here, just because of booking theories. And trust me, there's going to be a lot of booking theories that I'm going to pull off tonight. So we're getting started right now with the Royal Rumble. Florio, it's yours.
Derek, you make a great argument. You really do, about the Usos, and I could easily agree with you on it. I really could. But I've been saying for the last several weeks, I've been preaching about how high I am on Benjamin and Gable as tag team champions on SmackDown Live, and I would be the biggest hypocrite if to go against that. And I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could easily go with you, Derek. I really could. Don't get me wrong, but I'm afraid you're going to be the lone wolf on this one. I agree with MF and Bullock, but let me get into my theory here. Don't get me wrong. The Usos come into 2018 after having one of the best feuds of 2017 with the New Day, but they have some new challengers to deal with. As Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin get their shot at the titles they feel they've already won. And after beating the Usos on an episode of SmackDown Live late last month, Gable and Benjamin earned a title shot the following week in a multi-team match. In that title match, a few weeks ago, Gable and Benjamin actually thought they had won the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Unfortunately, they pinned the wrong Uso, and the match was restarted, at which point the Usos were able to retain. Obviously upset, Gable and Benjamin had a confrontation with SmackDown Live general manager Daniel Bryan and asked if they had to beat the Usos twice in one night to get what they think is rightfully theirs, which led Bryan to make the title match at the Royal Rumble a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, I know MF was saying that WWE should have the Women's Royal Rumble match as the kickstart for this event. But I think if WWE is truly smart, they'll start the Rumble event with this bout, because this has the potential to be very entertaining. especially with Chad Gable performing the way he is right now. You heard what I said the other night on Cerebral Smack Talk. I said that he has improved leaps and bounds. Each team will obviously win a fall, setting up that quote-unquote Shakespearean drama for the finish. I know the Usos have not been able to have that WrestleMania moment yet, even though they kind of technically did, you know, at WrestleMania 30, you know, when they walked out of New Orleans, still the WWE Tag Team Champions at the time. But I have been so high on Gable and Benjamin. I'm not going to be a hypocrite on this night. I would be the biggest one if I were to agree with Derek and go with the Usos to successfully defend. But nope, not after what I've been saying the last few weeks. I'm not going to go on. I'm not going to go against my merits here. This is a gut. This is definitely a gut pick here. Winners and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin. What a match that's going to be. No question about it. So with that being said, we go from the SmackDown Tag Team Championship to the Raw Tag Team Championship. Champions, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, defending the titles against the challengers and former multi-time Raw Tag Team Champions, Sheamus and Cesaro, otherwise known as The Bar. So, Michael Bullock, I started with you here. You know Rollins and Jordan won the titles on I believe it was on Christmas night that they won the tag team titles in Chicago. A Christmas present indeed for Jordan and Rollins. But The Bar, they don't just said it, they are The Bar. So what do you think? Is it gonna be The Bar's night again? Or will somehow, some way, Rollins and Jordan actually find a way to win this thing?
Well, the thing is, I mean, the whole thing with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, I mean, yeah, they are the champs, but they've been in somewhat disagreement. And, I mean, Jason Jordan's wrestling skills, I mean, it's there, but his mic skills is just, it's just awful. I mean, so awful. I sometimes I feel like I want to cover my ears and not even listen to anything that he has to say. I mean, it's like he's so brash, he's so arrogant, so full of himself. It's like he wants the spotlight on himself and trying to use Kurt Angle his father, Kurt Angle, as the way to get to the top. And I just simply don't like Jason Jordan. I'm going on the record of saying this right now. So I got a feeling we're going to have ourselves a tag team title change here. So the winners of the match and new Raw Tag Team Champions, Sheamus and Cesaro, The Bar, because I think Rollins and Jordan, they're just going to falter here. I mean, it's going to be some kind of disagreement, and Sheamus and Cesaro will capitalize and will become, once again, your Raw Tag Team Champions, because they don't just set the bar, they are The Bar. Derek Ferreira, it's yours.
Man, I despise the Jason Jordan character. I really do. I'm already getting sick and tired of this guy as well. But obviously, you know, this is going to lead up to Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan at WrestleMania. I don't know why. I mean, Seth Rollins should have had bigger and better things for him. But let's face it, Dean Ambrose's injury really screwed that up. And I mean, this is kind of another situation where you have the titles, they could change hands at the Rumble. And don't get me wrong, I still think they're going to be the tag team champions now at some point in 2018. But there's a but over here too. There's one certain team, and yes, this is where biased Derek shows up. What about the Good Brothers? What about Gallows and Anderson? I really want to see that team dethrone Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. That's just my theory. I mean, I would like to see all of the Balor Club with the gold. I'll talk about Finn Balor, and I'll even say it right now. I want to see him as the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. I want to see him dethrone The Miz. And if the Bar does indeed win, I mean, sure, you do have Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. They do get a rematch clause, but also you got to mention Titus Worldwide. Titus Worldwide beat the Bar twice on Monday Night Raw. And they would also be tag team title contenders as well. So, I mean, I want to go with the Bar over here, but I think the Bar's going to retain the titles. I just think they'll lose the titles maybe at Elimination Chamber or at Monday Night Raw. So I'm going to go with Rollins and Jordan. I know it's a risky pick, but something tells me they're not going to take the titles off of them just yet. Maybe within the next couple of weeks. So Florio, it's yours.
In yet another chapter with Seth Rollins taking on Sheamus and Cesaro, we've got this match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. But instead of Dean Ambrose alongside him, he's got Jason Jordan. The new duo won the titles from the Bar on Christmas night, and we're set for the automatic rematch at the Royal Rumble. The build for this has been entertaining enough, but it's about time for this to come to a head. Sheamus and Cesaro have been a great team and will certainly have their chance to win many more tag titles down the line. And outside of the prediction for this match, I could see them possibly going. I could see both of them going to SmackDown Live in the future, especially if they do another superstar shakeup or draft. As for Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, they haven't exactly been on the same page since Kurt Angle put them together. Jordan trying to join up with the Shield did provide for some pretty good comedy, but this is a case of creative having to come up with something on the fly. When Ambrose went down with an injury at the Monday Night Raw in Providence that we all went to last month, ironically enough. But for the most part, they've done a decent job as they're both great athletes, and the matches they've had together have been entertaining. If they want to keep the Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan storyline going, there is no choice but to keep the Raw Tag Team Championships on them. Otherwise, they have no reason to interact with one another, and Jordan would likely just move back down the card and get lost in the shuffle. With Rollins not having Ambrose around to build toward WrestleMania, he's kind of stuck right now as well. So, Derek, you're not alone. I'm actually going to agree with you on this. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan to retain the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, that's pretty much all I can say on that. So, MF, do you agree with me and Derek, or do you agree with Bullock when it comes to this Raw Tag Team title matchup?
As much as I respect the Bar and like what they do and bring to the table, unfortunately, Michael Bullock, you're on the island, man. I'm going to go with Anthony Florio and Derek Ferreira. I think Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins will get the job done. I believe they will successfully defend the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, Florio, I'm with you. So, yep, on to the next fight.
We go back to SmackDown Live, and we have ourselves the 2-on-1 handicap match for the WWE Championship. The champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, defending the title against both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Derek Ferreira, we started with you. You know we're all AJ Styles marks. Does he get the job done, or does the unthinkable happen and we have co-champions here?
All right, hold on just a sec. So, okay, we got this power struggle over here on Tuesday nights, and I'm gonna be honest with you. There's gonna be a lot of shenanigans in this match. Yes, I want to see AJ Styles going to WrestleMania as a WWE champion because, you know, he lost last year in the same event to John Cena. This Cammy, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan thing, you know, this is like the biggest story on SmackDown right now. And I just can't see WWE getting the title involved in that feud. Now, Kevin Owens, from listening to the Observer Radio, I know he was out of a house show last weekend. I don't know if he's going to wrestle in this match. Maybe he's going to be limited in this. Maybe you're going to see a lot of Sami Zayn here. But I expect AJ Styles to win this match because I just think what's going to happen is there's going to be miscommunication between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Or you got to go with the second option. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan create all sorts of shenanigans here. And, I mean, I want this to be one of the top fights of the night. But, come on. You know this is going to be overbooked. This is going to be... Oh, I'm I'm not really looking forward to this, to be honest. I mean, it's just not just looking forward to it. Let me rephrase that. But I just think this is going to be an overbooked mess. So AJ Styles retains over here. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to be a cluster bleep, no doubt about it. But just even thinking about the WWE Championship, the most prestigious championship in all professional wrestling, being held by two people at once, that rubs me the wrong way, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Even though we have seen something like this before. You remember years ago when Michelle McCool and Layla were co-divas and women's champions, right around 2010, 2011. Even if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could find a way to make it very entertaining, however, this is all just part of the ongoing storyline with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, and it's getting way out of hand. It's not getting a little out of hand. It's getting way out of hand. Had the story with Shane-O not been hovering over and hindering this the entire time, the build for this would have actually been entertaining. WWE Champion AJ Styles lost to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in non-title matches on consecutive episodes of SmackDown Live due to outside interference. Okay, I've got no problem with that. He then challenged Owens and Zayn to a 2-on-1 handicap match. Okay, I can deal with that as well. But then Daniel Bryan got involved and made the match for the WWE Championship. And that's just a little ridiculous. Don't get me wrong here. I think that this match is going to be fantastic. All three participants are some of the best in-ring performers that WWE has. And I do expect great things here. Maybe I'm overthinking things here or not thinking outside the box enough or whatever, but I honestly do not like the stipulation whatsoever. Again, just thinking of two people co-holding the WWE Championship has me very upset. But I suppose they did just have that same title on Jinder Mahal for a long period of time. So what do I know? With that being said, I don't think WWE takes their biggest prize into their biggest event, WrestleMania, with two people holding it. Especially when I think it's 99.9% certain and likely that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will take on Shane McMahon and a partner in New Orleans. There's only one way for this to end. Winner and still the WWE Champion, brain of the good Lord, please make it happen, the phenomenal AJ Styles. All right, MF. I mean, this has been a major powder keg on your show. This has been, one of the reasons why SmackDown Live has slowly been on the decline and Raw's been on the rise. That is until the last couple of weeks, but come on, MF. I mean, what's going to happen here? You don't really think WWE would be stupid enough to have their most prestigious title and the most prestigious title in the entire business altogether be put on two men? No, I don't see that. Not especially not at Mania.
I don't think it's going to go on Mania, but remember, is there a SmackDown pay-per-view in February?
Fastlane.
No. Elimination Chamber.
No, Elimination Chamber is Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber is Monday Night Raw, and Fastlane is SmackDown Live.
On March. You got a March paper.
And the thing is, guys, there is a rumor of a possible 5-way match before we get to WrestleMania. So, if for some reason that Owens and Zayn wins the title and go on, what makes you think that they're going to make it all the way to WrestleMania with that belt? I don't think it's going to happen. So, obviously, the obvious choice or the odds-on favorite would be AJ Styles because of, the fact that a lot of people wants to see them successfully defend the title. And because if you lose that fight, so help us is what I would say. So we'll just see what happens. I'm with you guys. I'm gonna go with AJ Styles to successfully defend the title, but I would not be stunned if we see a new champion. Honestly. So nothing more to say. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Boy, I mean, I would be looking forward to this match if they didn't have this whole Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan power struggle, because this thing is way beyond out of control here. I mean, it's pointless, it's unnecessary, it's unacceptable, it's inexcusable, it's irresponsible and borderline reprehensible. And I'll be quite honest, guys, I'm getting sick of it. And I mean, they gotta put an end to this some way, because I mean, the WWE title is your most prestigious title in WWE history. And right now you're not making it about the title. And so help me God, if WWE does the impossible, if they do something stupid and put the WWE title on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, watch out. I'm warning you guys right now. I am going to go on a major Phenom rant, because your WWE title is the most prestigious title in history, held by such great legends. I mean, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels. Heck, Florio, even your hero, Bret the Hitman Hart, has held that title. And you put the title around two superstars? That, to me, is a major disservice. I'm not going to stand for this 1 minute more. I'm going to agree with all of you. AJ Styles will retain the title, but I'm putting out the warning right now to you, WWE. You do this bull crap on Sunday night and put the title on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the Phenom's coming out, and not in a good way. And I'm getting my Phenom shovel, and I'm burying your asses 6 feet under. Let's just move right along, Florio.
If you do go on this rant, Bullock, is it going to be an EDP 445 style rant?
Oh, you better believe it. Because you know how I feel about the WWE title.
There you go, Derek. You just got your answer, because Bullock doesn't have the group chat feature on his iPad settings. So Derek wanted to know, because he posted that in his group in the group chat box. So
I'm gonna have to be prepared to possibly put this for 18 and over on Sunday night.
As long as he doesn't throw anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw anything, but pipe bombs and all that, you're going to get them right here, because you guys know how I feel about the WWE title. I mean, it's the most prestigious titles in history, and they do something bogus like this, that is really going to piss me off.
All right. I'll have to keep a very close eye on it on Sunday night. If I hear new champions, Owens and Zayn, I'll have to modify my before I do anything. I'm gonna have to modify it, make sure that it's 18 to 21 year olds only. No kiddies allowed on this one. I had to do it once before. I might have to do it again.
I had to too. So, all right. With that being said, let's move on now to the other big title matchup from Monday Night Raw, the triple threat match for the WWE Universal Championship. The champion, the Beast Incarnate, your reigning and defending undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar, defending the title against the monster among men, Braun Strowman, Raw, and Kane. So I start this one off here. It's only fitting, seeing that I am the voice of Monday Night Raw here. So, all right. I've seen a lot of people upset that Kane is in this triple threat match for the Universal Championship. I'm kind of on that fence as well, but there are some who might not have a problem with it. The guy has been around for 2 decades, has done everything that's ever been asked of him in so many different capacities, and giving him one last run in the main event isn't hurting anyone. And we all know why he's there anyway, don't we? The build for this match has been solid. You know, it's been pretty good. Watching these 3 behemoths get after one another week after week on Monday Night Raw, including in Providence that we got to see in person last month, has been a lot of fun to watch. And it started with Kane and Braun Strowman battling for the number one contender spot, and we went from there. With no clear winner, Kurt Angle made the triple threat match. Enter Brock Lesnar into the mix, and we've gotten plenty of destruction on the way to the Royal Rumble. It's fun watching Lesnar not having to dominate everyone to be entertaining, and he's taken his fair share of hits during this build. As for Braun Strowman, he's arguably the most over guy in WWE right now. The crowd erupts every single time the Raw hits, and he's taking the ball and run with it. Sure, the backstage segments with him pulling down the wall and tipping over the truck were a little over the top, but it's been wildly entertaining. And if I'm going to be real honest with you, from a personal standpoint, no two guys want to see Braun Strowman win this Universal title more than myself and Michael Bullock, because we are the two biggest Braun Strowman marks there is. However, I think most of us and our mothers still believe that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is going to happen at WrestleMania 34, correct? And that's been the plan for the better part of how long? A year now? And I honestly don't see Vinnie Mac changing his mind now. The easy call here is for Brock Lesnar to pin Kane to keep Braun Strowman looking strong. So, and I've also heard, and I just read a dirt sheet about a day or two ago, guys, saying that Braun Strowman is possibly going to challenge The Miz for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 34. And if that happens, there's a very good chance the Monster Among Men will finally get that championship gold we've been desiring him to get. So we'll keep an eye on that in the weeks and months to come. But there's no other way for this to end except your winner and still your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. MF, how do you follow that?
By agreeing. Brock Lesnar, I believe, is going to win the fight. He's been in many big fight matches, and a lot of times Brock Lesnar has gone on to win those matches. I don't think there's ever been one guy who's been that dominating than he has. And even though he's on a limited schedule, but whenever he comes in, he does what he does best, and that's really good. Even though I know a lot of people are not looking forward to this title fight, and I'm going to say it, that this is probably one of the more weaker championship fights that we've had. It's been all right for the most part, but a lot of people are not really in tune for it. At the end of the day, I'm going to say it. I believe Brock Lesnar will get the job done. Yes, I think Kane will get the fall, is going to take the fall here, because they're going to want to protect Braun Strowman. And I honestly don't understand why it would be Strowman and Miz. I kind of would be pushing more for Seth Rollins to get the shot because of what happened on Monday night. Well, off the air on Monday night, there was a Rollins and Miz kind of thing, and I'm wondering if they're gonna go that direction. Maybe Strowman gets another shot at the title, or maybe he might be getting another opportunity later on in the night. You'll find out what I'm talking about very soon, but I'm gonna say, for me, yes, the logical choice is Brock Lesnar to win and successfully defend the title. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm with you, Florio and Fletch. I gotta go with Brock Lesnar to retain the Universal Championship, and I think he's gonna get the pin on Kane, and I'm actually okay with Kane getting the being in the title picture. I mean, because like you said, this is probably going to be his last opportunity at a major title, given the age that he's at. So I'm actually fine with it. So yeah, I mean there's really not, I know they've been talking about keeping Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania, But that whole thing with Roman Reigns, from what we heard, that's still up in the air. So that whole main event of WrestleMania could change. So there's really nothing more for me to say except Lesnar wins and retains the title. So Derek Ferreira, I give it to you.
Yeah, this is an easy pick. This is Brock Lesnar all the way. I know they're setting up Brock and Roman for WrestleMania. We already knew that since last year. I remember when this match was made, like, what? A month ago, people were talking about, oh, Braun Strowman's going to beat Brock Lesnar, and then he's going to defend the title at Elimination Chamber. So I don't really see it happen. I still think they're going to go that direction with Braun Strowman and Triple H for WrestleMania based on what we saw at the Survivor Series. Kane's going to take the pin. That's going to protect Braun Strowman. So now let's get through the Royal Rumble matches. And trust me, like I said earlier, I got a lot of crazy theories that I'm going to share.
Of course. I think we all do, Derek. I think we all do. So let's get into it, fellas. The first of our 2 Royal Rumble matches. We're going to start it off with the first ever Women's Royal Rumble matchup. Of course, we all know the announcement was made by Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. Monday Night Raw, Providence. I cannot tell you, I cannot stress enough how blessed and grateful all 4 of us were to be there in that arena when that announcement was made. I mean, and once that announcement was made, I'll admit it, all 4 of us, I don't know what they're doing, but I know Meth Bullock and I, we marked the F out. That's all there was to it. We marked like crazy men when this announcement was made. But nonetheless, here we go. Announced participants as of now. In no particular order. Naomi, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Natalya, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke. That's 18 out of 30. We were supposed to have 19 out of 30, but Derek's longtime girl, Paige, originally announced her participation on New Year's Day, but was later pulled out due to a neck injury that, for all intents and purposes, has ended her in-ring career during that house show in Long Island last month. So you heard the names. We have other names that we're going to probably throw around. But good old MF, Michael Fletcher. I know we don't envy you, but we got to start it off with you here. It's how the rotation works here. So I know it's tough, but who's going to make history, my man? Who's going to be the first to say, I won the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match? Historic. And we were there for it.
Yeah, we were. You know, there's a lot of big names. There's a lot of names that you can stick out, and it sticks like a sore thumb. On the SmackDown side, Becky Lynch, first obvious name that you could think of that would definitely win the Women's Royal Rumble. Obviously, the other person's name that you can throw around is Asuka from Monday Night Raw. She's been the dominating force. She's been unbelievable. There was a rumor about maybe Ronda Rousey being at this year's Royal Rumble. However, she just recently debunked those rumors, saying that she's doing a filming of a movie in Colombia, actually leaving this week, and that she won't be back till mid-February. If that's the case, she's not going to be at the Royal Rumble. She's out. So, obviously, now that does leave me with a more clear-cut picture. I think it's going to be Asuka. Asuka's been the dominating force. She's been the unbelievable player in here. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of surprises. I'm not going to be... I was the first one to report a possible Trish Stratus sighting. I think she will be at the Royal Rumble. Maybe Beth Phoenix, even though I know she hasn't been in the ring in a long time. I think she's gonna be there. Obviously, the Bellas, Nikki and Brie are also going to be at the Royal Rumble match. Because I just feel like this would be the perfect time to have them both show up. I do think that we're going to see Ember Moon from NXT. I think she's going to make her at least she's going to be what Ty Dillinger was last year, maybe a one-off in the Royal Rumble match and just show up to compete. Is she going to stick around after? I don't think she will, but I think there are going to be a lot of factors in this as well. You're going to see a lot of drama, a lot of historic moments, probably some oh my gosh moments, like some fantasy booking that you would never ever thought you would ever see in WWE, and maybe a nod to the past. Maybe a Trish versus Lita, and see these two go at it at the Royal Rumble and give us a historic moment, to say the very least. Maybe have those two go at it, for a little bit just to get the nostalgia, get a "this is awesome" moment, maybe a "holy crap" moment, to say the very least. But at the end of the night, it is going to be one of the current roster members that's going to win it. And I do believe that when it's all said and done, that the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, wins the Royal Rumble and becomes the first female Royal Rumble winner in the history of the company. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I toss it to you, my friend. I guess the age-old question, who you got?
Boy, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, I got to go with you, Fletch. I got Asuka winning this one as well. I mean, she's been one of the most dominant forces in the women's division, especially since coming to WWE, especially with NXT, and then continuing on Raw. So I think she's gonna continue that role, and I think she's gonna go on to WrestleMania to face the Raw Women's Champion. And like you said, I think we'll definitely get some more names. Like you said, Trish Stratus being one of them, the Bellas, maybe, like you said, Ember Moon from NXT. You never know who's going to be there. So I got Asuka winning this one. So Derek, let's get to your prediction and the first of your many crazy theories when it comes to this both Royal Rumble matches.
Okay, I want to get into this, and this is going to be the same thing with the men's too. 4 names that I'm going to put out. Asuka's one of them. Ronda Rousey's the other one. Becky Lynch, and this is the wild card, Stephanie McMahon. I really do think Stephanie McMahon could be in this match. I know they're talking about commentary for her, but I think she's going to be in this. And I understand that, Asuka is the early favorite in this match. And quite rightfully so, because how she's been so dominant and how, what she did this past week on Raw 25. But here's a couple of things too. And I was thinking about this last night. And kind of the reason why I pulled out those names, Voices of Wrestling, their podcast. Shake Them Ropes. Shout outs to them. Really good podcast, by the way. Talked about that. Now, there are going to be some surprises. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I think they're going to be in this match. Nikki Cross, I think, is going to be in this match. Okay. This person said, because I'm actually doing a Facebook Live right now. So this person said that, what are you talking about, Robert Woods, when it comes to She Will? Is it Asuka you're talking about? But this person did say that She Will last entry and will jump in. I think he's talking about Stephanie McMahon right here. And that's a really strong possibility for number 30 is Stephanie McMahon. I'm going to agree with this person right here. So the 4 names. And I'm going to try to break them down. Becky Lynch, obviously right now, I could put that as my 3rd favorite to win the Royal Rumble. My number 4, Stephanie McMahon. But like this person said over here, that if you were to put Stephanie McMahon in, it's the number 30 spot. Now, if Ronda Rousey is in this match, and we all know I've said this in the past, take it with a grain of salt. This is how you bring Ronda Rousey into this. You got to make the women's Royal Rumble match the last match of the night. And if WWE does that, you're going to see Ronda Rousey in this match. I really do think that's a strong possibility. And Triple H even mentioned it in his conference call. Like I said, Wrestling Observer has it. I have not listened to it yet. But there was a question about Ronda Rousey. And I know, when it comes to the Stephanie McMahon thing, and this person said that it's going to set up a WrestleMania match between, I think he's talking about Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon. I got a little bit of a theory on that too. But Asuka, right now is the clear favorite. I'm going to go with Asuka right now, but I think you have to pay attention to what happens. Is that match the final match of the night? And if it is, I think Ronda Rousey is going to make her debut. Something tells me that it's not going to happen. It's a long shot, but it's still out there. And yeah, and this person said Stephanie versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34. That's been the talk for like 3 years. Ever since that segment with The Rock, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Ronda Rousey, that was going to be the setup for that. And we've been waiting 3 years for that. So it's very possible. It's very, very possible that it could happen. But also Jason Hixenbaugh, a good friend, and we were talking about this earlier tonight. The Elimination Chamber's up. Now, this person said Brie Bella or Nikki Bella. I see them in this match. I think they're definitely going to be in this. No question about it. 9/11, this person said 9/11. I don't know what you're talking about. So, okay. That's a little bit confusing right there. So, talking about the Elimination Chamber match, Jason Hixenbaugh even mentioned that those two, there should be a Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match. To be quite honest, that's a bit extreme, putting women in that type of match like that. And don't get me wrong, they did this with Hell in a Cell, with Charlotte and Sasha Banks. But I just think it's too extreme to do it. So right now, my gut tells me Asuka, but if Stephanie McMahon wins this Royal Rumble, just think about it for a moment. Stephanie McMahon versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, a McMahon versus a Flair. How cool would that be? That would be really cool. That would put asses in the seats. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Man, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but I'll do my best. For the first time in WWE history, there will be a 30-woman over-the-top Royal Rumble match, and I could not be any more excited for this. I'm extremely pleased that they didn't go with lower than 30 entrants and are keeping things equal by having the women go over the top rope instead of them just having them hit the floor as they've done with women's battle royals in the past. This has the potential to be a lot of fun if done correctly. With a solid group of superstars on the current roster, this match would go just fine with them there, but without enough to get to 30, we're bound to have some nice surprises during this match. Whether we see some women from NXT or some past superstars, just give me Trish and Lita for 2 minutes while others are down and can watch. This is going to be great. There are a lot of different ways creative could go with this. Had Paige remained healthy and had been involved, I really think she would have been one of the favorites here. Unfortunately and tragically, she may never step foot in a WWE ring again. So there's a different direction to be taken. There's Nia Jax, but I don't think she's ready for the spotlights of WrestleMania. There's Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks or Bayley, but they've already held titles, and I think the crowd wouldn't really take too kindly to one of them winning it. The most obvious choice here is Asuka, and that's who I've been taking as my official pick for the last couple of weeks now. Just like I had Gable and Benjamin winning the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. there's no other way for this to go except for Asuka to win. So unless Ronda shows up, of course. If Ronda shows up, hands down, Ronda wins. That's all there is to it. But if not, then it's got to be the Empress of Tomorrow. I mean, there's no other way for it to go. And we saw what happened. One of the few, and I do mean one of the very few bright spots of Raw 25 this past Monday night was Asuka, showing her dominance, eliminating all 3 of her tag team partners in that 8-woman tag team match. So, but then again, I mean, with her doing that, I mean, that could be booking 101. You never know, since she got over on that go home show. So we'll see. So, but nonetheless, I think we're all in unanimous agreement here. The Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, will win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match and will go on to challenge, very most likely, Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34. And you heard it here first. Asuka's winning that title. She's walking out of the Superdome on that night with the gold. So, all right, gentlemen. One last piece of business here tonight. And that is the 30-man over-the-top rope Royal Rumble match. 18 participants have been announced, and they are as follows, and in no particular order. Elias, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Rusev, Aiden English, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, The Miz, Ty Dillinger, all 3 members of the New Day, Biggie Langston, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. And just announced today, gentlemen, the big dog, Roman Reigns, has thrown his hat into the ring for the Royal Rumble match. So with all that being said, Michael Bullock, Phenom, we started with you. Who's going to WrestleMania as the winner of the 2018 Royal Rumble match?
To me, I think it's simple. I think you got to go with the big dog, Roman Reigns, to win this because we continue to hear about that rumored feud between him and Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at WrestleMania 34. And if you're going to make that happen, you not only need Brock Lesnar to retain the Universal title, which we all agree he's going to do that, but you also need Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble match, unless they got some other way they can make that happen. But to me, I'm going with the big dog Roman Reigns to win this, and who knows what surprise entrance we could get in this Royal Rumble match. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So Derek, what do you say? Who wins the Royal Rumble match, and what kind of crazy theories you got for this one?
Okay. Same thing with the women. I'm doing the same thing with the men. 4 names I'm going to pull out. Roman Reigns is one of them. John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura, and here's the wild card. Daniel Bryan is my wild card right here. Now, I'm kind of skeptical with Daniel Bryan, but here's the thing. A couple of weeks ago, an online bookie, put Daniel Bryan as a favorite for the Royal Rumble match, for him to win this Royal Rumble match. Obviously, that's not going to happen because we all know about this whole thing with WWE and, the whole concussion thing. Do I see Daniel Bryan wrestling again? Yes, I do see him wrestling, not for the WWE. I can see him in CMLL. I can see him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Somebody was telling me, what about Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13 next year? I don't think they would do that. I think Omega and Ibushi is the match that you want to make for that event. But I would be excited if it was Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega. I mean, 2 of those guys, 5-star classic right there. Okay. This person said all 3 managers could be in this. I don't know what you're talking about. So put that. Okay, so Daniel Bryan, I'm ruling him out. Roman Reigns, I'm ruling him out. I know, Bullock, you want him to win this match, but I'm going to rule him back. I'm going to rule him out because, yeah, Elimination Chamber. I mean, the Elimination Chamber is in a couple of weeks. I assume that the Elimination Chamber match is going to determine who's going to go up against Brock Lesnar. Okay, he said that Daniel Bryan's going to be in it. He's talking about the general managers. Okay, now we got this in. Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle as one of the surprise entrants, and he also says Shane McMahon could be in this match as well. Kurt Angle, yes, very high possibility. Shane McMahon's also a possibility. I'm going to throw out some names too, because it is Philadelphia and a certain wrestling promotion had their business over there. So I would say Roman Reigns wins the Elimination Chamber match, and that's how he's going to go up against Brock Lesnar. It's going to be for the number 1 contendership for the Universal Championship. So here are my 2 names. John Cena. Okay. There's been a lot of rumors. Even Dave Meltzer wrote this a couple of weeks ago on Observer Letter. And I actually read the whole thing. That there was a match planned for 34 with Cena going up against The Undertaker. Now, John Cena was supposed to be in a feud with Samoa Joe. But what happened was Samoa Joe has a foot injury. He's not in the Royal Rumble match. And that's why they're doing this program with Cena and Elias right now. I mean, that was the original plan going forward. But I'm so skeptical because of what The Undertaker did Monday on Raw. Was that a retirement speech? A lot of people in the wrestling community believe this was his last appearance. But I still want to see that match at WrestleMania. I'm not going to pick John Cena. This person says that I'm picking John Cena. I'm not picking Cena to win this. I'm just going to say that right now. But assuming the conversation that he does win, here's my theory on this. John Cena, AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34. And I'm going to go on a limb and say it. He's going to beat AJ Styles. If that match does indeed happen, he will beat AJ Styles. And he will break Ric Flair's record in New Orleans. We talked about the Miracle on Bourbon Street 4 years ago. This will be the record breaker on Bourbon Street if that indeed does happen. Okay. To all the people that are on Facebook Live, I will give you my surprise entrance in just a moment. So, RELAX over here. But my person that I want to see win the Royal Rumble is Shinsuke Nakamura. Because of the fact that, and I understand, they have booked Shinsuke Nakamura like crap in WWE. But here's the thing. AJ Styles, Nakamura, 2 years ago, Wrestle Kingdom 10. That match, we all know, was a 5-star classic with a lot of Shakespearean drama. Was it the fight of the night? No, because it got overcame by Okada and Tanahashi. And that was the real 5-star classic right there. So put in Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, and WWE would make a lot of money with that fight right there. But Vince, you know, he's not going to buy into that. Vince McMahon, I mean, don't get me wrong. All right, so I'm going to go with that. Shinsuke Nakamura. But let's not forget what this match has done over the last couple of years. It has disappointed people. And when you're in Philadelphia and you got an IWC crowd, you got a passionate wrestling fan base right there. you have to cater to the IWC. I mean, if you put Roman Reigns in there, I'll tell you right now, what they did in Philly last week when the Eagles beat the Vikings in the championship game and how they were celebrating on Broad Street, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be much worse. And who knows, will Philly even be around Monday morning? I don't really think so. So I got Nakamura winning. I mean, there are a couple of dark horse contenders. Dolph Ziggler, he could be in this match. As far as surprise entrance goes, I got Booker T in this match. He definitely is going to be a surprise entrance. But I was talking about a name that was familiar. And familiar with the wrestling fans in Philadelphia. Who are those people? Those damn Dudleys. I think they're going to be in this Royal Rumble match. What really is kind of the thing with this, the dark horse with that is Bully Ray. Bully Ray, if you guys don't really know, Bully Ray now is a co-host of a wrestling show on Sirius XM called Busted Open. And that is now on 9 to 12 now on Sirius Satellite Radio compared to the 2 to 4 that it used to be on. So, you know, and they're also going to be doing the Royal Rumble pre-show on Sunday from 3 to 5. So I don't know if it's going to be in New York or if it's going to be in Philly where they're going to do this. But if it's in Philly, you know Bully Ray is going to be in this match. And we'll see how that goes. But that's really what I'm thinking right now. My surprise entrance is going to be Booker T. It's going to be the Dudley Boys. It's going to be Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan. I don't know. I really don't know. An NXT wrestler is probably going to be in it. I don't know which. Maybe they put a wrestler in from the Cruiserweight Classic. So that's where I'm going. So Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Again, how do I follow that? Well, I'll try. With the chance to go on to WrestleMania 34 and challenge for either the WWE Universal Championship or the WWE Championship, 30 men will battle in the Royal Rumble 30 years after its debut in 1988. And the boys need a good one. There have been some fun moments over the past few years, including the debut of AJ Styles in 2016. But for the most part, these haven't gone over well with the WWE Universe for a while. In 2014, Batista won to a chorus of boos that only got louder the following year when Roman Reigns won. In 2016, the WWE Championship was on the line as Reigns had to do the one versus all thing. And while people were plenty happy to see him thrown out, a lot of people didn't like part-timer Triple H walking out with the strap, much like people really didn't want to see Randy Orton win a year ago, with the exception of Michael Fletcher. So where does that leave us? Well, as we've mentioned throughout the night, we all pretty much think that Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is happening at WrestleMania. But I don't think Reigns wins this Rumble, so I'm not starting that prediction yet. So I agree with you, Derek. I think they will have Roman Reigns get that spot by winning a number one contenders elimination chamber match next month. His Rumble win in 2015 was also in the very same arena that they'll be in on Sunday. Philadelphia would go nuts, and not in a good way, if Reigns wins again. So I'm taking him out as well. So who do we have then? In my eyes, the current group we have anyway, there are only a few options. And with Reigns being a Raw guy, it almost has to be a superstar from SmackDown Live. Or a free agent, which leads us right to John Cena. This might almost go as bad as if Reigns won. Personally, I'd have zero problem with this, assuming AJ retains anyway. Cena and Styles have put on classics in the past, and with Cena going for world title number 17, that just sells itself. But I still think they're going to go with Cena versus The Undertaker, which I and everybody, you know, around the wrestling world, in the IWC, what have you, for the last several years we want to see. But that's another day. That leaves Randy Orton. And I think that on a big stage, he might actually want to work. And he and Styles could do good things. But with him winning just last year, that seems like a long shot. My call here, and one who I really want to see win, Derek, I agree with you again. It's Shinsuke Nakamura. We know that he and Styles could bring the house down. And this is a match the WWE Universe has been waiting on ever since Nakamura was called up. Make it happen, Vince. So there's really nothing more to say. Derek, I agree with you 100%. The winner of the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble match, the King of Strong Style, representing SmackDown Live, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now we save the best for last. It's only fitting we save it for the voice of our WWE play-by-play, our Gorilla Monsoon, Jim Ross, what have you. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, who's going to WrestleMania as the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble match.
Oh, man, this is tough. I mean, going into this, I was thinking that obviously I get caught up in all that hype. And yes, I heard about the Roman Reigns thing. And obviously you would say, all right, Roman's probably the guy. The Nakamura thing, yeah, I've heard a lot about that as well. Because if Nakamura wins, that automatically gives him the fight with AJ Styles, and we all know what that's going to be like. Derek, I just want to confirm I'm not going to confirm it, but you said that there's going to be one guy coming from NXT, which I think it will be. My pick's Aleister Black. I'm going to go with Aleister Black. I think he's going to be the guy from NXT that's going to be a part of the Royal Rumble match. I think that would be awesome if we get Aleister Black. Now, as far as the 205 Live guy goes, why not Cedric Alexander? You know, he's the guy that right now might be the new flagship guy of the company. I heard a rumor going around that maybe it could be Rich Swann. Now, I know, actually, from what I heard, Rich Swann recently got cleared of all charges. Basically, he was suspended. Apparently, they said that, he got into a little incident with his wife, a domestic incident, but apparently his wife has dropped all charges on him and saying that, you know, it wasn't as bad as you guys were making it out to be in the media. It was just, we were horsing around and it kind of got a little... It was a little more chaotic than what it was supposed to be. So she dropped charges on him and said that, you know, it was kind of us horsing around more than what we should have done. Then she owned up to it and said that was her bad. So maybe Rich Swann gets a shot here. I don't know. Obviously, I agree with Ferreira that we're going to see some ECW influence here. Some guys from Philadelphia is going to be in it as well. So, I mean, but as far as it goes, I mean, yes, if you want the fans to go home happy, obviously you want Nakamura to be the guy to win it all. If Nakamura wins, that place is gonna go wild. I mean, it's gonna go nuts. That's gonna be a feel good story. Everybody go home happy, whatnot. The one other guy I would throw is Daniel Bryan, because if you notice, him and AJ Styles hasn't really been in a good accord lately, and why not? I think it's going to cause a little bit of a friction here. Maybe we might see a Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, where maybe Daniel eliminates Shane McMahon in the Royal Rumble match just to, you know, get that over, and then we'll go from there. Who knows? So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of predictions and a lot of thoughts about it, but at the end of the day, I'm with you guys. I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura to win the 2018 WWE Royal Rumble match, and I think he will be going on his way on the road to WrestleMania 33 and to have a date with Destiny with AJ Styles at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for the WWE Championship on April 8th, 2018. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
before we get into our our final overall projections and thoughts, gentlemen, I just noticed they have finally announced the pre-show lineup, and we've got 3 matches on the pre-show on the kickoff show. Bobby Roode is going to defend the United States Heavyweight Championship in an open challenge. Ooh, wonder what that's going to be like. That'll be from SmackDown Live. From Monday Night Raw, we just saw this match at Raw 25, and unfortunately, we're going to get it again. It's a match that I'm a little iffy about. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson against the Revival in a return match from Raw 25 at the Manhattan Center. And a 6-man tag team match from 205 Live. Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik will go up against TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. In addition, they have also announced that in addition to the in-ring action, Royal Rumble Kickoff is going to feature a star-studded array of panel guests, including both women's champions, Alexa Bliss from Raw, Charlotte Flair from SmackDown Live, Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze, and 2-time WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair. Woo! How about that? So, and one other announcement. They've already also announced. Yep, and they've also already announced, guys, that the 2019 Royal Rumble is going to emanate from, get this, Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. How about that, huh? Can you imagine what that's going to be like next year? Boy, howdy, that's going to be something. So with all that being said, let's get into our overall thoughts. I'm gonna make this an open forum. I'm gonna free form this. So I see Derek's chomping at the bit. So Derek.
Yeah, I'm gonna start it off over here.
Overall projections. What do you think?
Well, we got a really big weekend of wrestling. Let me just say that. You have the NXT, you got the Royal Rumble, you got the 2 shows from New Japan Pro Wrestling. One of them starts tonight. I'm actually looking at our daily update over here on the Wrestling Observer. You got one match that's going to be, you got one championship match tonight. That's Tanahashi against Suzuki for the IC title. And then after the NXT in Philly, you have the 1 o'clock show. And by the way, a lot of these New Japan shows are going to be in Sapporo. There's another big one that's going to be in 2 weeks, right after the Super Bowl, a week after the Super Bowl in Osaka. I'll talk about that another day. You got 2 championship matches for the Saturday morning show. Well, the Sunday morning show, I should say. The Young Bucks going up against Roppongi 3K for the junior tag team titles. And the main event, Kenny Omega versus Jay White for the U.S. title. So you got a lot of wrestling, and you got a UFC on Fox tomorrow night as well. So how freaking crazy is that? So to say, a lot of combat sports this weekend. I've always said this. Anytime that WWE and NXT do a show on the same, not the same weekend, on a weekend, NXT has always dominated on the WWE. I mean, NXT to me is the better brand right now. It's better than the main roster. I think the show tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, because we're in the East Coast, I think it's going to be great. You're going to have a lot of indie wrestling fans. Philadelphia, and I'm just going to share this on Facebook Live. Philadelphia is a really passionate wrestling city. I've been to Philly. I was there 3 years ago for the Ring of Honor New Japan Super Show that they did, the 2 nights. And those wrestling fans are so passionate. Sure, ECW is in their heart, without a question. ECW remains in the heart of a lot of those wrestling fans over there. And it's a legacy. I mean, it will forever be a legacy up there. But you look at the next generation of wrestling over there. You look at, a lot of the indie promotions that go over there. Evolve, House of Hardcore, which right now is getting a huge following in wrestling right now because of their deal with Twitch. I'll even say I'm a fan of House of Hardcore now. Support indie wrestling, guys, by the way. I'm saying that on Facebook Live. Indie wrestling right now is the best thing going around. And I would be I want to be surprised, and I'm going to make another prediction. This Monday or this Tuesday, they're going to announce WrestleMania 35 in Philly. There's another prediction for you right now. It's going to be in Philly next year. And if that happens, oh boy, I think I might be taking a trip over there next year. I think I might be going back to Philly. I would really go for WrestleMania. I definitely want to see a lot of indie shows over there. Evolve, Progress, Beyond Wrestling, Ring of Honor. Oh, that would be a fun-filled weekend. So NXT, I think, is going to really dominate the Royal Rumble. I think it's going to be the better show, without question. Royal Rumble, you got your matches, but like I said, it all depends on the booking. And sure, even the podcast that I was listening to, Voices of Wrestling, they were saying it too at the end of their podcast. A lot of people, hold on, not Voices of Wrestling, it was Busted Open. I beg your pardon. Busted Open even said it. Bully Ray even said it today on Busted Open. He's a wrestling fan, and he understands it because he's been in the business, but he already knows that a lot of people in the wrestling industry is going to get so pissed if they don't get Nakamura, any one of their favorites, winning the Royal Rumble. I can tell you that right now. If Nakamura does not win the Royal Rumble, a lot of people are going to be pissed. It's going to be, like I said, a lynch mob is going to take over Philly if that happens on Sunday. So it's going to be a great weekend of wrestling. I'm so looking forward to it. Not just NXT, not just WWE, but New Japan as well, with their new beginnings to us. So, Florio, what's yours?
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, Derek, how do you think Takeover and Royal Rumble are going to play out?
Okay. I could see NXT. Oh, wow. I can see it as an 8, 8.5 out of 10. Royal Rumble. I mean, last year's Rumble, God, I don't even remember what I gave that last year.
I don't remember either.
I would say about 7.5 out of 10. I mean, that's where I'm going. I hope it doesn't go below 6. If it goes below 6, then a lot of people can go on rants on Sunday night. So that's where I'm going right now.
Sounds good. All right, fair enough. So I could see that. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I honestly cannot remember. I don't think there's ever been a time where the WWE show was actually better than NXT. Whenever we've had these big weekends, these major pay-per-view weekends, I don't think there's ever been an instance where the main roster outperformed NXT. Until I see otherwise, I have no reason to believe that Takeover will not be better than the Royal Rumble. I'm leaning towards that 8, 8.5 myself. Gargano and Almas, that's going to be amazing. I mean, I got high hopes for all the matches. The only one I'm concerned about is Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler for the women's title in NXT. Other than that, the other matches all have potential to be something special. Ono and Dream, I think, has something. I think that's got Sleeper Fight of the Night written all over it. If I had to rank it from 1 to 5, I would have to say maybe Fight of the Night. I got to say by a smidge is Gargano and Almas. I would say the Extreme Rules with Cole and Black would probably be the second best. Rounding out the top 3, I would have to say Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno. Tag team titles number 4, and I would say by default the worst fight would probably be the women's match with Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, based on Baszler's body of work, especially in the Mae Young Classic, which I saw every bit of it. So, I think the 8 to 8.5 probably would be the best rating, maybe even 9 at the absolute best. Now, as far as the Royal Rumble is concerned, I think both Rumble matches are going to steal the show, honestly. You got that SmackDown Tag Team title fight that's going to be really good. Those are your top 3 right there. I would probably say the men's Rumble is probably going to be the fight of the night. The women's Rumble maybe the second best. The SmackDown tag titles 3. Maybe the Raw tag titles at 4. The world title matches, I'm a little iffy on both of them. I don't know which one's going to be worse. I probably would say maybe the Universal will probably be the worst fight of the night, and the WWE would be just before that. So, based on that, I think 7.5 is probably the correct rating for the Royal Rumble. So, we'll see what happens. So MF, scale of 1 to 10, how do you progress? What is your progressive rating for Takeover in the Royal Rumble?
For NXT Takeover, I'm giving it an 8 to 8.5. I really think that this is going to be an incredible event. I just think that NXT right now has been such on a roll lately that I truly believe that whenever we talk about these events, we talk about NXT more than the actual big show themselves. So I think NXT will continue that domination again. So 8 to 8.5 for the Royal Rumble event. I'm gonna say about 7. I'm a 7 right now going into it. I think the historic nature of having 2 Royal Rumble matches. I hope they get not only the ample time, but I hope that they give us moments that we're gonna remember for a very long time. Sometimes, I hate to say it, but the last couple of Royal Rumbles have been predictable. I hope that we get a surprise winner in this and something that's gonna make us say wow. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Yes, the two big world title fights are not really too appetizing in my eyes. The 2 out of 3 falls fight, definitely I can make an argument. Anthony, you did make an argument and a very compelling argument. And I remember in 1989. A 2 out of 3 falls fight began the Royal Rumble event. So, could they go back that well again? Absolutely, no doubt about it. If you want to start out with a nice red hot event, then yeah. I just don't want to get tired out. They're gonna really have to space the Rumble matches, to say the very least. I mean, that's why I kind of was looking for the women to start it, and then the men to finish it. But if they want to go vice versa, the only way the women closes it is if, like Derek said, if Ronda Rousey shows up. If Ronda's there, then obviously what she said to TMZ and to some other reporters was a straight up bullface lie, and we got caught. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. So nothing more to say. That's my feeling about it. So Michael Bullock, you are the last to take this.
Yeah, for the NXT Takeover Philadelphia, I agree. It's going to be an 8 to 8.5. I mean, NXT, I mean, they've been doing much better things than what they're doing on the main roster. I mean, all the matches I think are going to be really good. And like you said, I think the only one that could be of some concern is the Ember Moon Shayna Baszler match. But other than that, all the other matches I'm really looking forward to. And then as far as the Royal Rumble, I mean, looking forward to both Rumble matches, both world title matches. Not really looking forward to them, but yeah, I mean, this is, and I'm gonna say, yeah, a 7 out of 10. I think would be, is the correct rating for it. So with that being said, Florio, let's just put a bow on this.
Yes, indeed, and we will put the bow on this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. It's been a great night. It's been great to have the band back together for this one night. Hopefully, we can have more nights like this going forward in the future. But yeah, so let's break it down. Sunday night, of course, hop on over to MF's channel, Braves Fan 95. We will have our complete recap of the Royal Rumble. And then Monday night, right back here on the Tone 25 for Ridiculously Raw, where we will sort out all the fallout from the Royal Rumble on the Monday Night Raw side. And of course, I'll go back to having my Tony's take on that. I'll give you my thoughts on 205 Live and the special edition of Impact Wrestling, which was known as Genesis. And I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, I'm going to have a positive review on both shows, believe it or not. So a double positive. It's not often that happens, but it's a double positive on Monday night. And then Tuesday night, hop back on over to MF's channel, Brace Fan 95 for the Cerebral Smack Talk. We'll sort out all the fallout from the Royal Rumble over on SmackDown Live. Maybe we'll have a Mikey's Mindset. We'll see if MF has anything on his docket over there. And Derek Ferrero, while we have you here, next Friday night, what's in store for next Friday night? Is it going to be I think I know where we're going, but just confirm.
Super Bowl 52 preview, definitely.
Exactly what I thought. So no power rankings whatsoever?
Nope.
All right. Just want to be 100% sure. So you heard it from Derek. You got the word. Next Friday night, right back here on the Tunnel 25, we will have our complete preview of Super Bowl 52 between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, prediction. Simple as that. So that's it. So until Sunday night for the Royal Rumble recap with MF over on his channel, Brace Fan 95. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here. For good old MF Michael Fletcher. For the Phenom Michael Bullock. I was going to say, and for Bullet Club Soldier 445 Derek Ferreira. And in spirit, of course, our other panelist, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, who will be with us Sunday night, by the way. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all the action. It's going to be a great weekend. Takeover Philadelphia tomorrow, and then a huge Sunday. The AFC NFC Pro Bowl, NHL All-Star Game, the Royal Rumble, the Grammy Awards. That is a super Sunday if there ever was one. So enjoy it all. So till Sunday night, you've been watching this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum, our preview of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and the 31st annual WWE Royal Rumble right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long.